All right, welcome to Rockingham, North Carolina. We're at the Rock here in the Arca cars. This would be our third Arca race of the week. I typically try to keep my race series per week to 4 races. So ideally try to get a good race in at most 4 races. And that's because of the point standings, how they calculate. They take the best 25% of your week's race. So if you race 4 races, they take your best single one. If you race up to 8, they'll take an average of your best 2 finishes. That's how the points standings work. Not that I'm taking it too seriously, but with this race here today, oh boy, it's it got me up in the Arca standings on the points standings, I should say, for Division 5. I was in Division 11 last season, rookie season. Or what was I? That was season 1. Last season it was, I can't even remember. I think I was Division 7. I'm in Division 5 this season. But anyways, let's see how the race goes. This is our qualifying. We're in our Bell helmets, red and white paint scheme. That was 28:35 was the strength of field on this. I'm coming in here as a freshly coming in over 2,000 iRating at 2,100 to start this race. So we're the 16 car. We're not the last, but definitely a high strength of field. And there were some. I mean, there was a almost 6,000 iRating person. There was 4,000, 3,000, 4,600, 2,300, 3.6, 2.5, 3.4, 2.2, 2.9, 7.2. I mean, there were some really high rating guys in here. Lowest high rating person was 1.87. Yeah. And there was a 1.9. And then some 2,000 sprinkled in there. So let's get out there and qualify. I'm just aiming for... There we go. That's the button I meant to press. We're aiming for a top 10 here. Let's do it right along here. I think we can probably crank our mic up a little bit. There we go. So here's our outlap. Going a little wide there in 3 and 4 just to get the run up to the line. For me, hot lap is the second lap. First lap's about warming up the tires, so not pushing it some on lap 1 just in case lap 2 doesn't turn out, just to have that safety qualifying lap, but not pushing it as hard on lap 1. That was a 23 flat. This being my third race this week, last week rather. This was it was known to me to try to get down to 22.7s. That was my goal with qualifying. Went a little wide there. Could have shaved off a little bit more time, but we do indeed get to the 22.746. Let's just go ahead and grid them up. And that'll put us... I think it's 45 laps here at Rockingham here in the Arca cars. That put us in P3 to start this race. So we're going to go ahead and back it out to the blimp. There we are, 16. I'm sorry, we're P5. That's where the blimp view can really help. Let's just do a quick little pause. I want to get a little bit more volume up in here. So we're on the inside, and we're side by side with number 2, battling for the P4. We get it on the inside, And that number 2 car, man, we I didn't realize we blasted him with a lot of dirty air. And he felt it. Plus, he's coming in on the outside line. He's got 2 other cars charging in on the inside. One pretty close here in Bradley Rubel. So let's take a look at Jared. Yeah, an awkward line. He tries to slot in here, but we come up high enough just to give him some dirty air. And 18 just gets a really good drive in there. 19 rather. So we're looking good. Our strong out to P4, gained a position on the restart or on the start, and starts and restarts, the short runs are not typically my strong suit. So let's get this back up here for the inputs. So my goal here is, for one, don't get into any shenanigans. There's some stuff kind of hindered my races in the first 2. Some incidents. Probably a self-spin in there. Can't remember which series I did that in. At least once. I know I did it in the Be Fixed. Seems like it's going to be at least one race where lap 1 I'm going to self-spin myself. Self-spin myself. So we're cruising. We're keeping up a strong pace. They're running 22.8. Lap 5 now. We're already coming up on lapped traffic, it looks like. Probably somebody who had to start. No, that was P1. That was P1. No, I was right about that intuition. So I'm not sure what's going on here. And also not sure why they're in P12. '17 comes out. Might have been a wreck. We're not going to dive too much into it. We're going to get focused back up on our race here. So 11 checks up to the number 8. That black car is hard to see the number. We kind of have to check up here on the 11. Since we're getting no pressure from behind, let's go ahead and go on the onboard. Really proud of the fact so far of keeping up here with the front pack. I remember not too long ago that I was doing Arca. If I ended up in a really high SOF compared to my iRating, just there being a front pack of fast guys that I just really didn't have anything for them. So really nice sense of validation here with the kind of the breakout from this 1.7K iRating that I was in there for much of season 1 and just breaking out up to and through the 2000s. Mind you, we're still quite low there. But some validation for, you know, maybe I do belong up here with these guys. My qualifying times, certainly, I've been having some pretty good quality qualifying start times, and that definitely helps as well. But when we go to Kansas, there's going to be some relief when I finally get a run in where I don't get wrecked out on the first lap or two, and I'm actually able to find out why Kansas is why Kansas is such a great track. Had a great race this week. Be working on that video not too long. So we're just cruising. A little rough on entry is the main thing that I'm noticing here, at least in 3 and 4. Okay, we're getting past. That's why we go on the high line there. That's the number 2 car that we passed on the start of the race. Dumped that dirty air into his face on turn 3. So we got some company behind us. We're driving 1 and 2 pretty solidly. That was much better 3 and 4. I think I made it the in-race adjustment to recognize that I was overdriving. You can hear a little bit of tire screeching here in turn 1 and 2. Guy behind me definitely not digging the see that I kind of sent it in there. Oh yeah, over sent it. So dude gets on my backside. I'm quite mindful, especially out of turn 4. I was noticing that having a car like right here where he's at on the exit, even on turn 2 here, but I noticed it less on 2 for some reason. But just car being behind, it just taking the air off of that spoiler and getting loose on corner exit. So maybe just being kind of fearful of that. And Miguel Campo and the number 3 car gonna get past us, and it's something we gladly do. Being the 16 car here in this high SOF field doesn't mean I'm giving up or down or out. It's lap 16. I just let him by so that we're not gonna race each other and use our stuff up even more and lose any more time behind us. To the guy behind us, I should say. Now here's an instance of losing my focus for a split second and following the car in front of me and not racing the track. Corner just seemed like it jumped out at me. So we get a 2X there. I was pretty pissed off about that. Definitely driving it in. I think that's my biggest tendency that I'm noticing so far. Much smoother than 1 and 2. It's just it's still a bit fast, I think. That was good. That was a good 3 right there. Just mostly just listening to the tires. Yeah, you can hear a little bit of that tire screech. It's not terrible. Let's hear how it. Yeah, that was good. Let's hear how it sounds like to the guy behind us. So he's trying to get us loose. Or maybe not trying, but he's probably getting us loose. I don't understand. I gave him the inside there, but it's because number 7 makes a charge. But the number 7, I swear to God, the amount of times I click on the pace car, like it's got to be this perfect gap right here to select pace car on the next. So Kyle A. Noel, he's gonna make a move. This is why 19 doesn't take the inside. We go high side, so we're actually able to get a good drive off. Neither of these guys get the greatest of drives off, but 19 gets a better one. So the guys behind me, that was a bit of a relief. They're starting to race each other now, and that's starting to take a little pressure off of me as they lose a little bit of speed and time. So there's a pretty big gap ahead of me and the cars, between me and the cars ahead of me, I should say. The leaders were P6. The last lap was a 23.5. 23.4, a little bit of an improvement. And a 24 up ahead, 23.5. So we're probably about to catch up on the guys ahead of us. And as far as the guy right behind us, we just ran basically the same lap time. Very similar pace with the 7 car. 23.4, 23.3, so we gained a 10th. And we gained half a 10th on P5. Oh, and there was a wreck. And that was for position up ahead of us. Ooh. Exit turn 2. And this is tough because it's looking like nobody really did anything terrible. I mean, 14 could be given a little bit more room. Oh my God, did I just really... I hate that that button is right there. I used to be quite indifferent to it until I've done it. Now, the last couple. Okay, so it's going to be this lap. I think. Yep. So let's see if we can see what happened. Far chase. $14 does a great job keeping it off the wall, almost even kind of more than necessary. And then Gavin Wright just, I mean, you know, we go in the cockpit here. He's got to understand too. He's got to give extra room off the corner. He sees him there too, how much he's pinching him off. So, but he's kind of just, it's one of those race deals off of 2 here that 11 has quite like a slight angle coming off the apron or off the bottom there to go down this backstretch. 14's pretty much just going straight. So it's not like 14's driving down. It looks like he does kind of cut in a little bit. Here we go. This is who I wanted. Yeah. There's just a slight little like control getting his stability under him. But I mean, he mostly goes straight. It's just that last little tick there. He did kind of go just a little bit. But I mean, honestly, it's just an unfortunate racing deal here. But it's fortunate for somebody. And that would be me. Number 8 ahead of us in P5, and then P4. Does P4 get around it? Everybody gets... Nope. Oh, P5 in front of us. Did not work out for him. Behind us, is everybody checking up? Yeah, it looks like everybody's checking up. So 3 cars involved in that. Oh, 4 cars. 19. That was super unfortunate. So now we just have Kyle A. Noel behind us. And we have 26 laps left. I'm sorry, 21 laps left. I think there's 45 laps in this race. So we're all of a sudden in 4th, and there we go with the, like there's a gap between us, right? And so I hit back, and of course it's going to get somebody in pit road. I thought it was the pace car there. Anyway, that's an annoying feature. I don't really ever want to look through the eyes of the pace car. So I just got to figure out how to disable that if it's possible. We get really close to the wall there up ahead. Sometimes I like to watch. Kyle's very smooth behind me, by the way, but I like to watch from other people's vantages and see, like, you know, what was that like to drive behind me? See how I'm doing on splashing dirty air on them, you know, kind of thing. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have paid more attention to that. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, I wasn't thinking about that at all, but it's like every turn I was destroying them with dirty air. That was amazing. So we'll see what's going on here. Got a pretty good lead, pretty good big gap between us. We got a lap car in front of us, and then P3 and Miguel Campo just above him. So our first task is to hold off this position. The second is to get around the lap car. Third is to get P3. Third is to get third. Definitely riding it in easier into these turns now. As we come up to lap 29. Just cruising, riding around. Not running terribly slow laps. You know, not even a full second off of our quali lap yet. Lap car in front of us is running a faster lap. Kyle Noel behind us. All right, let's go into Kyle's number 7 Toyota, and let's watch him try to track us down here. Go into cinematic mode since there's no inputs to see from the other drivers. Yeah, he's trying to get some clean air underneath us there. I'd say the biggest weakness of my line is coming like of when I execute. Like the line that I execute the most consistently here at the Rock is I prefer, and that was a bit exaggerated right there, but I prefer to drive out towards that kind of indention in the wall just so that I can get a little bit more of a straighter drive off. It gives me a stronger drive off because I can get my wheels straighter sooner, but it wants me to go wide out there. Yeah. So if anybody's able to get a run on me, my inside is completely exposed. But they have to get a good run on me because that's kind of the consistency of my line, is getting a run off the corner there. So how are we doing on lap times? 23.6 from the number 7, and we're putting in a 23.58. So pretty close race pace. See, can't like, couldn't have tried to have done that. Happens so much. Let me know in the comments that happens to you. You switch between cars and you freaking always somehow slice right in between multiple cars to find that pace car. Kind of taking a wider, we're going up like in that one lane higher, and we do kind of scrape the wall there for a 0x, no big deal. So it's looking like P4. I mean, podium is possible, but the guys ahead of us really need to do what they're doing right now. And none of those are for position. It's just the 3 car who's in third is just having to deal with lap traffic. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, okay, I remember this now. So we got a good gap behind us. I remember seeing this and being like, man, like they're like lap car's about to wreck P3, or and we're driving hard, we're trying to catch it, or he's oh yeah, they end up and they go with the former. Oh, that's hate to see it. Hate to see it. And it's not even Campo's fault. Oh. It's the lap car's fault. He hits the wall. He doors him. And then he doors him again, trying to save it. Yeah, overcorrection big time. That sucks. So my Kansas video, we're going to talk about lap cars and how lap cars ought to behave as far as, I guess if you're going by like gamesmanship, racecraft. Just generally trying not to be a dick and ruin other competitive spirit of others. Or I guess the competitive integrity of the said event. Because it's like on one hand, yeah, that was exciting, like, and it was an experience for both drivers to be racing each other. And on one hand, that's ultimately what we're up to with the simulator. At least for me, it's to put me through this experience, to simulate this experience of racing as much as possible. And but there's times when in races where we're riding around like we are right now with no pressure behind or anybody out in front to pass. So, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just kind of more of a reflection of like in real life and just consideration of just taking like an honest inventory of what position you're in versus the position of others around you. And my personal thing is like, if you're a lap car and I'm on the lead lap in whatever position I'm in, I mean, of course I would prefer you just to get out of the way and stay out of the way, but it's a game. So if you race me hard and you wreck me, yeah, I might have some emotions and big energy about it, but I'm gonna be just fine. It's just a game. I think that's one of my strong suits here, is how kind of big picture I'm able to stay and just how I'm able to focus on racing rather than getting caught up in my emotions. So anyways, only thing I say is if you're going to race me as a lap car, just make sure that you can race clean. In an Arca race, like, I'm not going to mind. But if there were some like real life shit, then there'd be some really big drama about that, right? Lap car takes out podium guy, whatever. So anyways, end of the rant. P3, right where we qualified. So had the long run speed, stayed out of the wrecks, and this got us a massive like 150 points for the season. So we're doing very well in our division now. So next week is Kansas, and we'll have that up here soon. Thanks for stopping by, and let's have a look at our fall off. We started out with 22.8. By lap 30, by lap 20, we were 23.5. 23.4, 23.5. We popped off a sub 4 there on 27. But basically 23.5 by lap 30. And then by lap 40, we were up to 23, I'm going to say 7, even though we ran at 8.51 that lap. Who knows what was going on. And we finished the race strong with a couple 23.6s. So we gained a lot of I rating. This put us up over 2,200 I rating, and we only got the 2x, so we got some safety rating as well. And yeah, I got the big time champ points for the 2,800 strength of field participation, and getting the podium, validating my presence here in the 2.2 I rating, just boosting my confidence basically. No ego stuff here. I think less ego, better results. Racing, pretty much everything. So, all right, that does it for me. I'll see you at Kansas and some of the other races that I'm going to share from the other series, from Trucks and O'Reilly's. Do be well. Take care.